Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Fire Medic Adventures. It's Matt, that firefighter medic guy. You know me, I am that guy. Good to see you all again. Hey, look, we're outside again. Outside of my makeshift studio that I got at home there that I kind of just created out of nothing by piecing everything together. As you can tell, we're in another parking lot, and that must mean we're on another adventure today. Similar to my Magic Kingdom walk, I have another walk for you all, and this is going to be a lot longer of a walk. This is going to encompass walking from the Epcot parking lot all the way through Epcot, out the International Gateway, around the Boardwalk resorts, over to Hollywood Studios, around Hollywood Studios, all the way back here to the Epcot parking lot. It's gonna be a fun journey. I've always been curious about how far that is, and we're gonna track it. We're gonna go on this nice long walk and talk, and it'll be similar before. I'm gonna flip the camera around so it's pointed the other way, away from this mug here, and you're gonna see what I see, and we're just gonna chat with the camera like before. The only time is I might switch it back around because there's some things I want to talk about, and in order to make it make sense, I got to kind of talk with the camera a little bit, similar to how I did it at home with the podcast format. And I'm also going to start out with a song here like I did the other day. This one's about chasing your dreams. No matter how ridiculous they may sound to anybody else or what people say, folks, go after it. Who gives a damn? And even if you fail at it, it's better than doing nothing. But then also, failure leads to learning, which then may lead to success later on if you stick with it. So, let's not waste any more time. It's boots to asses time. Welcome, everybody. And because some of these songs are very heavily copywritten, if it ends up blocking out my entire video so nobody can see it, then what I'll do is I'll edit it out, and the first like 4 minutes and some seconds will just be ambiance. So either way, we're gonna get a song now. It's an old school song. I'm gonna bring some Van Halen to you about chasing down your dreams. If you hear that, then we're all good. If you don't hear it and all you hear is just ambiance till we get into Epcot and through security, then you'll know it was copywritten. All right, let's get started.
Start working. Start working.
Welcome into Epcot Center. We're already moving along. 34 calories burned. Oh, 35 now. And we've gone 0.30 miles, so over a quarter mile just from the parking lot to here. Well, first things first, gotta stop at the old head here, and I don't think y'all want to see that, so I'm gonna pause you just for a second. It'll be like some OnlyFans kind of thing going on here. Let us get through the tap styles, and we'll be on our way here. And we'll kind of get into some discussion. Sometimes I'll just shut up and leave you some ambiance. Just have a great day today.
All right. Next guest, right here, please.
Oof, that was a little painful there, folks. I've given this tip out before. When you come to Disney World, you have the option to use your phone as your ticket. But I'm going to tell you. Hold on, we're going to go through this the right way. We got to go by the lame ass food and wine decorations. So I know I say this all the time, but I'm going to say it again. You have the option of using your phone as your ticket. Don't do that, because what happens is when you go to get in line or you go to scan in like that, when you hold your phone up, that reader, while it still isn't perfected yet, it grabs the first card in your library of cards. So if your first card is not your Disney World ticket and it's, let's say, a credit card or something like that, that's what it tries to read, which is why you get denied entry. You're better off to go out and stop at the front kiosk, grab yourself a little, it's a card, it's a ticket. It basically looks like a credit card. Grab yourself one of those, or swing by one of the shops and get you a magic band, and then that's your ticket. You don't have to worry about constantly getting hung up there at the ticket readers. Yeah, I know the magic bands cost a little more, but if you don't want to spend that money, that's all good. Just get a card at the front of the park at the ticket kiosk. They're complimentary, and then you don't have to worry about going through that, because it can be a giant pain in the arse. Tip of the day. I'm curious to see how far this walk's going to be. And I'll tell you what, man. Summer's hanging on tight. We're almost to October. Hard to believe that's going to be about a week from now. That's insane to think about that. But also, if you have some travel plans here, or you're going to be here for the next couple days, there's a possible hurricane that's not sure what it wants to do. As of right now, models show it going to the Carolinas, but I've lived in the South long enough to know that these things can change on a dime. So if you're either coming here or are here, and you're going to be here through at least next Wednesday, just have plan B, C, D, E, F, G in place, because these things can definitely throw a wrench into your Florida plans, especially if it all of a sudden reverses course, which they have been known to do many times. Hell, Hurricane Milton last year was only supposed to be a tropical storm, and it walloped us at, what, Category 4? I think it was. I know it was still almost a 2 or a 1 when it came over Orlando last year. You can find that video in my catalog of vlogs where I did the whole Hurricane Milton experience, start to finish. Real quick, as we're embarking on this journey, we need some fuel.
First time trying the flavors.
Thank you. My favorite is that Beverly. I think I'm one of the only.
I don't mind it.
I love it. It tastes like
It's a little grapefruity.
grapefruit and 7-Up is how I kind of describe it. There's just something about it. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
don't mind it. It's pretty good.
I like the bitter and then the sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Raw power. All right. Holy cow. These things are still $40. I would love to have these for Christmas, but that's $10 an ornament. Dang, they're nice, but geez. All right, we appear to be put up in the current. Just put out the oars, matey. All right, we got our fuel for the day. All right, now we're underway, as we would say in boating. Also, if I can remember, since we're going to have a pretty decent walk and talk here, try to throw you in some stories from firefighting. Everything I've learned over the last 20-some years. Hell, we could do a vlog of just that. I mean, I've got so many stories from the years of doing this. It's unreal. Here we are. Oh, Fountain of Nations. We should have never ripped that out. That was, like I said before, one of the worst mistakes in history. It was a stupid idea. But cheers to 1,000, everybody. It happened sometime last night while I was asleep. I checked this morning, it was 1,014, and just keeps on going up. So I really appreciate everybody coming and being a part of this family here. As we would say, welcome into the Firehouse. We're nothing but one big family. Might be a flustercuck at sometimes, but it's a big family. That's the one thing I've loved about the fire service, is you're never a stranger no matter where you're at. I remember my first time traveling down to Charleston, South Carolina. I was a firefighter up in Indiana. And it was in the, it'd been a few years past the tragic Charleston 9 event. And I wanted to go see the memorial that at the time was set up outside of, I think it's been a while since I've been to Charleston, but I believe it's engine 102, 103. It's right there in downtown. It's one of the old historic firehouses. So they used to have the Charleston 9 Memorial there. And I wanted to go pay respects to the men that lost their life in that horrific accident. And after I, got done kind of paying my respects at the memorial there, the bay doors were open, and I just kind of poked my head in and saw some of the fellas I introduced myself, said, hey, I'm a fireman in Indiana. You mind if I see your station? So I'm a big fan of these old firehouses. And they said, yeah, man, come on in. So not only did I get a full tour of the firehouse, but it was right before dinner. They're having lasagna, I'll never forget it. They had a plate made and everything, and a cup of coffee. So one of the funny things when you go to a firehouse, you always get offered a cup of coffee. It's part of the job. I think that's where my love of black coffee comes from. Now I know when I drink my Joffreys, I throw a little bit of that cream in there only because that cream mixes perfectly with the ingredients in that coffee and it enhances the flavor. But most any other time, I'm just drinking it straight black. But I had a nice sit-down meal with the engine crews from Engine 102, 103. And I spent about 2.5 hours at the station. And the same thing when I went to Savannah, Georgia, one of their main firehouses downtown. It's very old, very historic. Same thing. They brought me in, or first I introduced myself, they brought me in, gave me a full tour, offered me a cup of coffee. So firefighting is just one giant family. So welcome everybody. I promise I will entertain you all. I'll make you think and make you laugh. And at times, may make you go, what the hell is he talking about? But I invite all sorts of discussion. Because that's one thing I've noticed with some of these other channels, regarding this incident. There was one I was listening to last night because I want to hear people's input. There's a channel out there called Theme Park Obsession. It's got a good following, 90,000+, does a great job. But he was going off of everything Ben Crumpet said, and it's aggravating because they don't know any better. They're just going by what they see in the media, but it shows you how the media can deceive you real fast from what's fact and fiction. And he but at the end of the video he said that any negative comments won't be tolerated and he'll just straight up hit the delete button. And well, how are you supposed to have a discussion if you don't like certain comments people are making? Now, it's one thing if somebody's being a complete asshole. That's one thing, but it just, so what if comments don't go your way? That's part of it. When you start deleting shit, people don't have a voice. That's no good. You can't do that. And back to my want of live streaming. That's the one thing I want to do is open up the chat. Once we get that started, so people can kind of freely express things. It'll be the free speech theme park network, if you will. And the only way somebody would get booted would be like just blatant, all-out disrespect, or like calls for violence. Stuff like that's not acceptable. But having different opinions is what makes this all unique. And we may agree or disagree, but we still come together, sit down and have a cup of coffee, right? Man, I can't tell you how many discussions we used to have at the Firehouse table in Indiana over cups of coffee at 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Just throwing ideas around, or shooting the shit, as we would say. So welcome to this crazy adventure. I'm going to try to get more of a I'm going to try to sit down and come up with a schedule of what to do things. Like, what day do we want to live stream? What day do I want to, maybe make a sit-home vlog? What day do we want to, go out on an adventure in the parks or around Florida? Oh, it certainly looks like rain tonight. Because current time, I'm working 2 full-time jobs.
I don't know. It's like garbage. She's like, something died. I'm like, that's not.
And so trying to balance that and then do the creator thing, it's it's a task, but it's a task that I'm up for. Like I mentioned before, as long as it's fun and challenging, I'm all for it. When it's not fun and not challenging, time to put it away for a little bit. Just like that, folks, we've walked all the way to Germany. Can you believe it? At some point we crossed the mighty Atlantic. So as I said, what we're going to do here is we're going to do one half of Epcot. We've come up through one half of Future World, and we're doing one half of World Showcase. And then we're going to head out of the International Gateway, which for those who may not know, International Gateway is the back entrance of Epcot. Epcot's one of the only
55
Disney
seconds.
World parks
Total
that has 2
distance,
entryways, front and back.
1.0 miles. Average pace 18 minutes.
So
55 seconds.
We'll
per
go
mile.
out through the International
Split
Gateway,
pace,
which will
18
put us out in the
minutes,
Boardwalk
55
Resort.
seconds per mile.
We'll do a walk around those, head down to Hollywood Studios, do a lap around Hollywood Studios, come back, and then do the other half of Epcot World Showcase and exit out through Future World. Yes, folks, it's Future World. I don't care what they call it now, it's always Future World. Don't give me any shit. And here we've already made it to Italy. Buon Natale. Almost. Another month and a few days. Well, another month and a few days till we get out all the decorations for Buon Natale. We are in America now, on our own soil. Oh, Tiffany is this weekend. Aha! I think we're alone now. Doesn't quite seem to be anybody around, you know? In exactly 2 months from right now, it'll be time for the greatest event that this pavilion hosts, in my opinion, of course. The one, the only, the amazing and beautiful, spectacular Epcot Candlelight Processional. I plan on covering that a lot this year. Oh, I smell that. I smell that wood smoker going. Reminds me of a festival that we have back in Indiana at Fort Ouiatenon, down on the banks of the Wabash in West Lafayette on the outskirts of Purdue's campus. It's called Feast of the Hunter's Moon. Anybody know about it? When I was in the fire service, especially my days as a volunteer, I used to work the Feast of the Hunter's Moon as fire EMS coverage. I did it from Friday morning all the way to Sunday afternoon. free of charge. I got no pay for it. I did it because 1, I enjoyed being out there. 2, I enjoyed talking with everybody. 3, I loved walking the festival grounds. And above all, I enjoyed helping people when they were in need. And we had a full fire camp set up out there. The Tippecanoe Historical Society provided us a nice camper to stay in, sleep in. We would have the Fire Department Association Fund bought all of our food for us. All of our food was cooked outside over an open fire on a Dutch oven. That's where I learned how to make Firehouse stew. And of course, the Indiana State Police officers, as well as the Tippecanoe County Sheriff's Department, they had noses like bloodhounds. And the minute they'd smell that stew cooking, they'd start hovering around our camp, waiting for the first bowl. There was one day the Sheriff's Department and the Indiana State Police just picked that Dutch oven clean like a pack of cats on a three-legged rat, man. But we're happy to do it. Like I said, it's one giant brother and sisterhood. Fire, police, EMS. We all do the same thing, man. Just in different capacities, so we're all going to help each other. But that Firehouse stew was always popular. People love that stuff. All right, trying to do a screen record of like I did last time, but I'm not sure if my phone's going to be able to hold that much data. So if it goes out for some reason, I'll stop it wherever it's at, and then at the end, I'll show you the whole pathway we walked. Like I said, man, if you all got a treadmill or go out for a walk, bring this with you. We'll walk around Disney World together. Get a little exercise, make you feel good. Like I said, walking is one of the greatest things you can do for your body. And I'll tell you what, man, summer is hanging on. It doesn't want to let go at all. Mercy. We had almost 2.5 weeks of really nice weather, low humidity, no rain, no storms. Now this week has been pretty high humidity, pretty much rain and storms every day. But like I said, when you get to the end of summer, it's like summer's last calling card going, don't forget about me. I'll see you again in late June, early July. Now, to be fair, here in Florida, it starts warming up right around May or June. But it really doesn't start getting stupid until after the 4th. And then as far as weather intensity, you don't see that till you get to August. And then it's all of August and pretty much most of all of September. And then once you get into October, then we begin the next 8 months of gorgeous Orlando, Florida weather. But the one thing with these hurricanes being nearby, once they pass out of here, they will pull a lot of this humidity and steamy weather with it, and it'll be nice and cool. All right, so this is the International Gateway. For all of you that have never done this, So down here you have a gift shop, the World Traveler, and then here's the other entryway. Oh yeah, we got to do Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit at some point before Halloween arrives. And then they also have a guest relations over on this side as well, plus ticket booths. And this is also where you can board the Disney Skyliner. This is the Epcot Skyliner entrance. From here, this will take you to Riviera. And then from Riviera, you'll go to Caribbean Beach, where you have to transfer. You can either from there go to Hollywood Studios, or you can transfer to the gondolas straight ahead in front of you that takes you out to Pop Century and Art of Animation. There's rumors that they were planning on expanding this, but haven't heard much about it. So we've walked 1.69 miles, almost 2 miles, been walking for 31 minutes. The other reason I like doing these is because not only are you walking at a decent pace, but get to exercise your lung capacity by walking and talking. That, I tell you, that running, when we used to do our runs in the fire academy, doing the running like paramilitary, they have you yelling out cadence while you're running. That's tough the first few times you do that, but it greatly expands your lung capacity. All right, so we're gonna go off to the left here, and when we come back, we'll come up the right side over here. And then these are the boats that take you to Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and all the resorts back here. Once again, just like my other vlog at Magic Kingdom, when I did that walk, trying to slow everybody down a little bit. Take advantage of this, especially for those of you coming here in the coming weeks to months, because we're getting into the cooler weather, and if you're not from Florida, this walk is a lot more doable. Even if you're not, if you do it early morning or in the evening or after the sun sets, you'll be all right. I think our screen recording is pretty much keeping up with us. Take a look at this. Now this walk, like I said, can be done by anybody. The only catch, if you want to do the two parks, is you need either an annual pass or you need a park hopper ticket for that day, because you have to get in and out of Hollywood Studios and Epcot. Now, you can absolutely do this walk without going into the theme parks, and that's either A, park at Hollywood Studios and walk this way over here and around and back, and don't go into Epcot through the International Gateway, or take the Skyliner here to Epcot, walk around this path I'm on now, go to Hollywood Studios. Don't go in, of course. Go past the front entrance, and then head back this way. So that's the abbreviated way to do it without doing the theme parks. This right here, Trattoria Al Forno, or Trattoria Al Forno, and this Abracadabra, two phenomenal places here to stop on the boardwalk. And anybody can come out here. You just either A, need to have a dining reservation to come out here, or you just take one of the Disney transportation pieces, boat, bus, or Skyliner. Oh, check this out. That's some old school boardwalk souvenir pennies.
Time 37 minutes 4 seconds. Total distance 2.0 miles. Average pace 18 minutes 32 seconds per mile. Split pace 18 minutes 8 seconds
Just crossed
per
the
mile.
2 mile mark. We're doing good. Good morning. Man, Jelly Roll's this close now. I tell you, they're taking away all the entertainment. It makes no sense. They took Jelly Rolls away, which is very popular, but then this Atlantic Dance Hall is still open. And then straight ahead is a incredibly themed swan and dolphin. If you go through my library of videos, I explain the mystery of the black box inside the dolphin center there of the triangle and what the purpose of that triangle is. It's a pretty neat video. Do a full breakdown. All right, now we're on the path that's going to connect us to Hollywood Studios. Still moving along. Burned 256 calories so far. Been walking almost 40 minutes. Right here is the Boardwalk pool area. Alright, I'm gonna have to make a quick pit stop here. I'm gonna pause y'all for a second. We're gonna continue on to Hollywood Studios via that way. Alright. Wanted to make a quick stop there just because there's a little bit of a walk now between here and Hollywood Studios, and definitely don't want a you definitely don't want the Tasmanian trots, if you will, to show up when you're between here and there and there's no bathroom around. All right, so now that we're on our segment here to let me zoom out here. All right, so now that we're on our segment over to Hollywood Studios, I figured I'd chat with you all about some of these claims that have come out about Stardust Racers. And also, you know, you always hear people talking about the one thing that's very common, and people, they don't know what's going on. And I saw it in the claim sheet of possible, you know, medical emergencies that happened since Stardust Racers opened. And one of the big ones was, I think it was a 35-year-old man, 35-year-old male, somewhere in that age range, was complaining of numbness in the hands. I'm gonna tell you, folks, what that is. Okay, everybody immediately goes to think they're having a stroke, because what do they associate stroke with? Numbness. But there's a lot more to that, you know, with stroke symptoms than just numbness. And I can't tell you how many calls, you know, I would get dispatched for, and even to current day, like even at SeaWorld, numbness in the hands, numbness in the face, can't feel your lips, everything's tingling, and people freak out. And rightfully so. I had it happen to me once or twice when I was younger. And it's very common to experience that after a roller coaster. Why does it happen? So the human body, or actually before I get into why does it happen, I want to break the myth here that nobody's in danger because of this. All right, if you feel that, and it's solely isolated to your hands, your feet, your cheeks, and that feel numb, and everything's pretty much equal, more than likely it's what I'm getting ready to talk about here. So what happens when people get ready to ride a roller coaster or something they've not done before? Everybody gets a little nervous. They start breathing heavier. And when you do that, you start offsetting your carbon dioxide oxygen balance in the blood system. If you really get in the weeds, we have a really, really good balance of carbon dioxide as well as oxygen, you know, that circulates through us. You know, oxygen in, carbon dioxide out. Well, when you start breathing too heavy, you start you start throwing off your oxygen carbon dioxide balance. And so what ends up happening is you start off-gassing too much of your oxygen. And then the body thinks, oh crap, what's wrong? I need to go into what we'd call a protective or survival mode. So what the body does is it starts shunting all of your red blood cells, or I'm sorry, all of your oxygen cells to your core. This area right in here, from right below the chest all the way to right above the groin, your whole core area. So it shunts everything to your core. And by doing that, a lot of your oxygen cells leave the tips of your fingers and your extremities, and especially the face. And when that happens, then that's what the numbness is caused by. That's why you feel that. So you're not in any danger. You just have to slow your breathing down. And it takes time for it to come back. And it takes about an hour and a half for it to fully settle down once you get going. Because the other issue becomes, once you engage your fight or flight system, which you have two nervous systems. You have your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system. One means feed and breed, the other is fight or flight. Well, when you're getting ready to ride a roller coaster, your body is in this mode of, I feel nervous. What am I getting ready to do? What's going on? And I need to be ready for anything and everything. And so the body, sorry buddy, I didn't mean to interrupt that. I'm just trying to keep tabs on our walk here. Your body gets into this fight or flight mode, and it causes a survival instinct to kick in, which is, you start breathing heavier. Your body needs to get more oxygen to the core to check your body needs to get more oxygen to the core, and obviously even the brain, to protect the vital organs. And the rest of everything, the extremities, don't have as much oxygen hanging out there anymore. It's mostly carbon dioxide, and that's where all your numbness comes from. Like I said, once you start calming down, you got to slow your breathing down. Always remember, in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And it'll help to restore that balance, and your numbness and tingling will go away. I've seen it so bad on people where they're so spun up, as we call it, that their arms and their hands, they're drawn up like this. Like I'm holding my equipment with my other hand, but they're both like drawn to the core, and they're just knotted up like that. And then, of course, people don't know what's going on, and it gets worse and worse and worse until one of two things happen. Either A, I can get them to calm down, and over time, the circulation of the oxygen will balance back out with the carbon dioxide, and all the numbness will go away. Or they'll get too spun up and they'll pass out, because your body does have a threshold. And once you get to a certain point, it's like, all right, buddy, we're done. We're gonna go out for a minute here, and I'm gonna reset myself. Then you wake up in a few seconds, and you're all good. So if you ever see or know somebody that starts breathing heavy, start complaining of numbness, hands, feet, face, lips, you start seeing them get drawn up like that, they're having a severe anxiety attack, but they're shifting their oxygen to the core because they're off-gassing too much. And so they have to restore that balance. So a person like that, you want to get them down on the ground so they don't pass out, fall, and injure themselves. But there's no danger to that. It looks a lot worse than what it really is. It's just the body doing what it does best, and that is protecting us from ourselves sometimes. Problem is we try to understand everything because of these idiot boxes here. We always try to figure out everything going on, and just like with the weight force calculation with the roller coaster, sometimes we can't even wrap our heads around what's really going on. It just seems too hard to believe. And we're going right over to Skyliner, Hollywood Studios Skyliner Station, right here. So that'd be another way you could get back to Epcot if you didn't feel like walking all the way back. You could get right to this point and then jump on the old Skyliner there and ride that back to the International Gateway. All right, getting ready to head up to security again, so just like before, I'm gonna pause you. We'll go through security, and then we'll turn you back on. That's what she said. All right, pause coming up. 3, 2, 1. There we go. All right, we are almost at 3 miles, ladies and gents. We've been walking for just shy of 55 minutes. We are now at the front entryway to Disney's Hollywood Studios, formerly Disney's MGM Studios. Wish I could have seen it with those MGM. Heard lots of stories about it. Sounds amazing. Checking our map, we're still doing good. Hi.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you today?
Good.
Switch everything around.
You have too many things.
I know. I travel lighter.
We'll put them in your bag, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
there
you.
You go.
Here we are. We made it for Epcot, all the way to the studios. Let me put some stuff in my backpack real quick. I'll find a good stopping point.
I'm honestly surprised it wasn't.
Find a place in the shade here in a minute. Here we go. We're going to hit 3 miles here in a minute. There it is, 3 miles.
Time
Done a 5K.
55 minutes, 57 seconds.
55,
Total
55.
distance 3.0
Lined
miles.
up, 5K
Average
and 5, 5, 5, 5.
pace 18 minutes, 39 seconds per mile. Split pace 18 minutes, 53 seconds per mile.
So Sunset Boulevard's down that way. I don't think we're going to go down that way because that kind of dead ends down there. We have to backtrack. Mickey and Minnie's Great Movie Ride. Man, I missed a great movie ride. How about y'all? It's a travesty that they tore that down. Well, they didn't tear it down. They tore it out and put a lesser attraction, in my opinion, in there. Won't be long. Another month from right now, they'll likely be getting everything ready to put the Christmas tree up in the island there in the middle of Echo Lake.
Is this it? All right, boys, hop out.
But yeah, when we come up on the other side, out of Toy Story Land, I have to see see where they put the walls for the animation courtyard overhaul.
I should take a picture of you just make sure take calls. But that restaurant.
And Star Tours is using the extended queue. A little busy day. If you see that, go back to your resort, relax, swim, take a nap, come back later tonight. Man, the warmth is cranking today, folks. Holy moly. Goodness. This feels like almost like early to mid-August. Last bits of Streets of America right here. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I have to stop here in Galaxy's Edge and refuel our water supply. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the land of wasted space. God, so, with all the extra space they have here, they could add like 2 or 3 more attractions.
Adjusting for image tracking. All personnel
gonna come upon the Millennium Falcon here. Goodness gracious. That is no happy child. There's the Falcon ride. I'll tell you what, this land is warm today. This land in Toy Story Land just still boggles my mind. Let's build 2 giant themed lands in Orlando, Florida, where it can get very warm and humid. And let's put no shade in them. It's brilliant. This is another area here that's a lot of just extra wasted space. Oh man, wipe the sweat on my eye. This is a sojourn in Odyssey today.
So we would do that with Sam.
The one thing you want to do, folks, too, when it gets like this, whether it be summertime or get these late season heat surges like this, you don't want to stay away from anything that's got a lot of sugar in it. Save that till nighttime when you get back to your resort. Things that natural sugar, you know, fruits, that kind of stuff's all right. But you want to stay away from sodas, Gatorade, Powerade. All that stuff will just dehydrate the crap out of you. Especially if you're, as we mentioned before, if you take any type of like blood pressure medicine, anything that may act as a big diuretic, because you got to be drinking water at an insane rate. And I know people have even questioned, they're like, the 1 ounce per pound of body weight of water, are you sure? Like, yeah, the body's 68% water. You got to constantly be refueling it, especially if you're outside doing activities, and then to boot take medication on top of it. Man, it is a fluster cuck today, boy. Jesus. Yeah, I'm worried that our slower season we had for the last month and a half might be coming to an end. But I will say this, though, the one thing that any tourist spot in the U.S. needs to really strongly pay attention to is Las Vegas. Because whatever happens on the East Coast, or I'm sorry, get my directions right, whatever happens on the West Coast ends up making its way this way in 3 to 6 months' time, maybe a little more. But that's something that needs to be looked into. That can absolutely have a huge impact here. And same thing with all the You know, the biggest problem with Vegas is the skyrocketing costs, the hotels, the fees, and everything, and the same thing's happening here. You know, it's only going to be a certain point to where people just don't have that kind of extra money. Buzz, my buddy. Ain't no folking way I'd stand in a line that long when it's this warm out to meet a character. Not happening. I did a project of this the other day too, the Pixar place. Well, the old Pixar place, which is open during the day apparently. I filmed that during our farewell to the animation courtyard. Like I said, I know it hasn't been good lately. All of the process, all of the construction Disney's doing, not many people are happy about it, but this one's got the potential to be good. Because hopefully they're going to restore, for once, the former glory of what this park was known for, and that was art and animation. Oh yeah, look at all the walls up. Man, it's just, man, Walt Disney World, Construction Wall City. Holy cow. Walls everywhere. That's why I keep telling people on these Facebook groups, like these Disney Tips and Tricks group, they're asking about, oh, we're so excited, we're making our first visit in January, February. And I said, folks, please understand, because not many people are talking about it. You're going to have so much construction to deal with. If it's your first visit, that's how it's going to be known as, is construction walls. I mean, look at this. And when I get my other vlog up, when we bid farewell to this area, the Star Wars launch bay and all that, I had wondered how they were going to do the construction walls here, and I was pretty much correct on that. So yeah, they go down here and form a corridor. So all of this is completely closed off now for what would be imagined probably the next year or so. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, if y'all are coming here, there's a lot of construction going on everywhere and a lot of closures.
It's different.
Well, we noticed.
In about another month, we'll start seeing Christmas lights show up here in the little bushes. This they do a really nice job with. They make it look like sparkling snow. They just absolutely cover this whole area with white, shimmering Christmas lights. All right, back to sunset. What kind of pennies we got here? Monsters Inc. Nah. Give me 1 second, everybody. I gotta pause you a minute. We're starting to overheat. Give me 1 minute here. Here we are, back at it again. Practically had to put my Pocket 3 in this fountain to cool it off. Man, it was so warm. It was so warm. I could feel the battery just super hot, and I got the little overheat mode warning coming on there, so had to turn it off for a minute. So what I think we're gonna do, because it is so warm out, I'm not sure it's gonna not do this again, heading back to Epcot, so we might take the Skyliner. We'll just do it a little different. I'll be curious to see how that shows up on the app too, on the map tracker we're using. Because it is, like, for late September, it's pretty warm and humid today. And it really wasn't that bad when I started this. Literally in the last, like, been at this, you know, been at this probably, what, hour and a half? It's insane how warm it's got in the last hour and a half. How we going? Oh. Hollywood Studios. The theming is pretty cool and on point, I will say that.
Hello, friends. Welcome to Hollywood Studios. My pleasure to keep walking straight ahead. Right towards those break hours. If you have an umbrella, please have those umbrellas closed and hold them straight out in front of you.
Yeah, heck it, let's just walk. Oh, jeez. I got into the out on the woo vocabulary there for a minute. We'll just walk, it'd be alright. You gotta finish. Once we get out of this area and onto our path here, see if I can't come up with some funny fire stories for y'all. Oh, by the way, too, where we're heading, this is also the bus depot. So if you're going to take a bus anywhere, this is where you get on and off right here. And because of the Skyliner, you cannot take a bus to Epcot from here. Just keep that in mind. The only way to do it is by boat or Skyliner. Now, when the Skyliner goes down for refurbishment, or if they have any, mechanical issues with it, then obviously they'll put buses in service. But for the most part, you're at the mercy of the buses or the boats.
Time 1 hour 15 minutes 35 seconds. Total distance 4.0 miles. Average pace 18 minutes 53
let's see how far we've
seconds
gone
per
here.
mile. Split pace 19 minutes 38 seconds per
Not doing
mile.
bad though. 18-minute pace, like for walking and talking, and some of the stops they've had to make to get water, and yeah, that's not bad at all. 4.14 miles. Yeah, we're doing good. And so we're going to backtrack a little bit. This is the same path we took coming into studios. This will put us out right there at Boardwalk. And then we'll do a walk around Boardwalk. And then I'll put us back at the Epcot International Gateway again. And we'll finish it up. Let's see, Firehouse stories. So, this is one night. I tell you, one of my all-time favorite medic partners on the ambulance. I had a bunch, but my top three were Jake, Jerry, and Josh. All J's. And then, well, there were two Jakes. We had one who was Jake from State Farm, and then just Jake, and then Jerry and Josh. We used to have a blast out on the ambulance. And Jerry and I, we used to have shirts I had made because when I was a new fire medic, when you're a new medic, you take every ambulance call that comes into the station. And man, I don't know what happened, but I would bring all the calls in the city in. And my first summer as a medic, I don't think we slept one night. I measured it out. I marked it on the calendar. We're like, what was it, 38 shift days straight of no sleep at night, just because of the constant running. And so we would ride Medic 10. Medic 10, I think, is still at Monticello. I think it's if it is, it's getting ready to retire at some point. But Medic 10 was my ambulance that I cut my teeth on. That's when I learned how to be a really good and outstanding medic on. And so if it was just a medical call, Medic 10 would roll out with myself and Jerry. If it was a car wreck, it'd be Medic 10 and Rescue 1, and then any other supporting agencies. If it was a structure fire, it'd be Engine 1, Engine 3, and if we had a staff, one of the medic units in the ladder. So I had shirts made for us, and we were the Medic 10 Midnight Mafia. That's how I did that. And it said on the back, it had MFD from Monticello Fire Department, and it said Medic 10, Rescue 1, and then below that in quotation marks said the Midnight Mafia. And they caught on. People from around town even requested them. They'd see us wearing them. I couldn't wear them on duty, but we'd wear them off shift. And people really took a liking to them. So we sold a few of them. But so Jerry, being my partner in crime on the ambulance, I'll never forget one night, like 4 a.m., he wakes me up. It's been a busy night. He goes, "Hey, Matt. He goes, you got to help me. I had a little problem in the kitchen." And what had happened was, apparently we were out of dish soap for the dishwasher. And so he it's hard for me not to laugh. To compromise, he put Dawn. Dawn dish soap, the sudsing kind, the very big sudsing kind. He put that in the little area where you put the dishwasher soap. And I walked into the kitchen, and that was one of the largest Firehouse foam parties I'd ever seen. The entire kitchen was filled with soap suds. And then it was so bad, that's in the kitchen was where our fire pole was that led to the downstairs. And so it was we had a covering over the fire pole, and it found the hole in the covering, and it was dripping down into the weight room, because that's where the fire pole would empty out into. And so obviously, me being the older, more senior guy, I stayed up and I helped him clean it up, but we had to run the dishwasher. We had to run it all out of that dishwasher because there was just no stopping it. It went on. I think by shift change at 7 a.m. we finally had mopped up the last of the soap suds. But that's one of the stories that really stands out. That one, and then every year. So we used to have part-time firefighters. I don't know if they still have them there anymore, but when I was there, we had part-timers. And that's how I started out. I went from part-time to full-time. And each shift would have 2 part-timers. You'd have one daytimer for 12 and one nightimer for 12. Well, every time we'd get a new mayor elected, we'd always usually have a new chief. And it seemed like every time these chiefs would toy with getting rid of the part-time positions. And because Jerry had other jobs outside of the fire department, he loved being a part-timer. And of course at night, him and I ride in the medic unit. It was perfect. And so every 4 years, they would get in this discussion about eliminating the part-time position and making that a full-time. And Jerry every year would say, just you wait, you sons of bitches. You get rid of that part-time spot. Come January 1, I'm going to get in that tanker truck, which up north we call the big water shuttles. We call them tankers. He goes, I'm going to get in that tanker truck, throw it in reverse, and hammer the gas and drive that tanker truck straight through the back of that firehouse. He said, then I'm just going to get out and leave it as is and walk away. Obviously, we'd never do it, but every 4 years when that topic would get brought up, it was always the same answer. Just you wait, you sons of bitches. I'm going to drive that tanker. I'm going to back that tanker through the back of this firehouse. But the years I was there, though, oh man, it was a great family. Great captains, great lieutenants, great leadership. We had a segment where we kind of struggled. We had a younger mayor elected that was one of our lieutenants, and he actually won the mayor race. And it's almost like at times it felt like he had an axe to grind with the firehouse, no pun intended, but he ended up, because the mayor, I'm not sure how it's done elsewhere, because usually where I've worked at, the mayor appoints the fire chief. And so that's how this happened. And the mayor decided to go with this fire chief that had 3 years of total service. And then the fire chief appointed his assistant chief, which the assistant chief had 2.5 years of total service. So you could only imagine kind of the state our fire department was in for a while. It wasn't good. We lost a lot of people during that segment. And it just shows that experience and leadership means absolutely everything. And installing somebody as a fire chief that has 3 years of experience is dangerous, because that led to an incident on a house fire once where usually if the first arriving engine company or first arriving officer, whoever's there first, needs to do something called a walk around, where you walk around the structure that's reported to be on fire. It's called a 4-point walk around. You check side A, B, C, and D. Side A is the front, B is as you're facing the house, B is the left side, C is the back, D is the right side. And so if you do a complete walk around as you're supposed to, you would say, did a walk around, I got smoke showing from the BC corner, no other extension notice at this time, we're going to begin initial interior tag. That's kind of how it would be. There's more into that, like engine numbers, the person who's calling it out. But that's the basics of how the radio traffic would be. Well, in Indiana, especially along the lake of Monticello, lakefront, there's a lot of these homes that look like one-story houses from the front, but they're built into the side of these hills. And so the chief arrived first, and he said, I got a one-story ranch house with smoke showing from the Bravo Charlie side, which is BC side. And he never did a walk around. So I was driving engine 1 that day. I was on the pump panel. When you drive, you're responsible for setting up the water supply to the fire scene, getting everything done. Like you're it. You're the man out there. And I remember the first in crews called for water supply. I sent it to them. And it wasn't but 2 minutes later, I heard the Mayday come out. Well, for anybody that's in the fire service knows, Mayday is one of the worst things you can hear on a fire ground, as it would be on any other profession. But firefighting is just, you don't want to hear that. Well, it come to find out this was not a one-story house. It was actually a two-story house. It was built in the side of the hill, and the basement was actually on fire and it weakened the floor. When the first crews went in there, the guy behind the nozzle man fell halfway through the floor and got stuck. And basically he got wedged in the floor. And the floor was actually on fire. And it took them about 5 minutes to get him completely pulled out of there because he was stuck. It's the way he fell through. He didn't go all the way through, but like I said, his arms caught him from going all the way through. So they pulled him out. He ended up going to the hospital with first and second degree burns, even through his fire coat, right on the side of his rib cage and in the armpits. Very painful areas. So just that one incident shows how incredibly important it is to do a complete walk around. As we always say, attention to detail. All right, folks. We've almost burned 600 calories. We are at, do a mileage check here, 4.81 miles. We're gonna hit 5 miles here shortly. And we are now on the boardwalk. Again, we were over there where the camera's pointing. That's where we came in at. That's where Trattoria El Forno and Abracadabra, which I pointed out earlier. So we came in on that side, went all the way around to Hollywood Studios. Now we're coming down the beach and yacht club side. Beach and Yacht Club is very popular for its swimming pool. And when we walk past, I'll show you. If you've never seen it, you'll know why. Probably one of the most in-depth, most detailed and immersive type swimming pools I've ever seen at a hotel. So these bushes have good memories for me. I was out here one night and made a bet. Nobody thought I could jump over these. They were just a little bit shorter than they are. Of course, I didn't have flip-flops on either. I took them off, ran it barefooted, and did a full long jump over one of those things. It's, like I said, they weren't as high as they are now, but still cleared the distance. Foot didn't hit one leaf or one stick. My biggest worry was when I landed that I'd get a splinter from the boards, but I didn't. Coming up, we'll have to do this walk for the holiday season because these resorts are amazing during the holidays. All right, so we're gonna walk. Instead of going straight ahead, we're gonna walk to the left. We're gonna kind of go up and around the swimming pool so you can see the pool. Oh, you're a brilliant man today, Matt. Good idea to do this today. Jeez, goodness. But I can't stop now. We're way too far into this. But you can tell that there's storms nearby, like big storms, hurricane type storms, just by the way the humidity feels and the warmth. So this pool is one, ginormous, but two, is combined into a lazy river. It has a sand area, there's a sand bottom, and there's a rocks / tranquil spring themed area too. And this is one of the only pools, because of its popularity, you have to show them your reservation and room key to get in. They give you a wristband, so you don't have freeloaders hanging out in here all day. Definitely, though, at some point I want to stay here just for the sake of experiencing the swimming pool. It just looks amazing. It looks like fun. You could spend all day in the pool. Forget about the theme parks. The pool is a theme park. We're still going. We're still part of the swimming pool. Then over here, still the same pool, but there's a giant water slide that empties out into this section over here.
Time 1
That's
hour,
a water slide that's themed
33
after a
minutes,
pirate ship
35
type thing. You walk up
seconds.
on the pirate
Total
ship.
distance
go down the slide.
5.0 miles. Average pace 18 minutes 42 seconds per mile.
I have to go through
Split
the hotel
pace,
just a little bit. I don't
17
think I can squeeze
minutes,
through there.
58 seconds per mile.
And then this restaurant right here to my left is Cape May. Cape May is very good for breakfast and dinner. I think it's character dining, I believe. Or maybe breakfast is character dining and then dinner is not. I'm trying to remember. There we go. There's the other side of the pool. There's where the water slide comes down. We'll walk right by it there. Over 600 calories burning. You could argue it's probably more, just because of the warmth and humidity, plus the pace I'm going at, and talking too. So they've definitely cleared out a lot of trees in here. Looks like they added another entryway back here. I don't remember that being there. Maybe it's been a while since I've walked over here. But there's the pirate ship and the water slide. How cool is that, huh? Right across here is a nice sand beach. So as I mentioned earlier, you can make this walk by utilizing the Skyliner or the boats and have them drop you off either here at the entry to either here at the International Gateway or at the entry to Hollywood Studios there, and just do the walk without going through the parks. But if you have an annual pass or a park hopper ticket, take advantage. This is a great way to spend a day off from the parks. I can begin the burn. Got to go up this hill here. Let's see what our mileage is. 5.27. Oh yeah, we'll hit 6 miles easy. So basically, if you did this walk from the Epcot parking lot through Epcot, through the International Gateway, all the way out, around Boardwalk, the Hollywood Studios, around Studios back here through the International Gateway and out to the parking lot. If you did that twice, that's a half marathon, roughly. If you did it 4 times in one day, that's a marathon. Sounds like a challenge, you know? Once it cools off just a little bit more. Because with the SD card I have in this Pocket 3, I could definitely do that. I've got plenty of recording time. Now, as before, we're going to have to go through security, so I'm going to have to turn you all off just for a minute. And we'll kick you back on once we get through security. And like I mentioned earlier, if you do the Skyliner, this is where you board on and off right here. Would be curious though, which is faster? The Skyliner ride from Studios or whatever to here? Wonder which is faster, Skyliner ride or walking? It'd be something to try, but you take 2 people. All right, back at it.
Is she not here?
There we go.
Ma'am?
There we go. Back at Epcot. We are at 1 hour 42 minutes. That is not bad. That's considering I took about 2 10 to 15 minute breaks. One to make sure I didn't end up with the Tasmanian trots on the walk here, and 2 was to cool the devices down. The Osmo Pocket especially. It was getting really, really warm. So there's the bridge we crossed. That's from France. So now, instead of coming down this way, we're gonna link up to where we once were, and we'll tackle the other half of World Showcase and Future World.
And anybody who's waiting for their party, just go ahead and give it way on.
So there's where we were earlier. Now we're heading this way. I disagree. There's the UK Pavilion. How in the world? Like I want to just walk up to people and just tap them on the shoulder and say, "Are you mental?" It's 125 degrees in the shade today, and that dude's wearing a freaking full-on fluffy Winnie the Pooh hat, like something you'd wear in a place that you might need your Nanooks of the North, like in Upper Canada somewhere. People are nuts.
He's way too comfortable.
It's like the Canada. What you talking about?
The beer. We still have time, right?
That's like the 100,000th crying kid that I've walked past. I really don't understand why these parents do that to these poor kids. When it's like this, folks, you gotta split the day up. Not only for your own sanity, but for your kids' sake. And they put them in these umbrella strollers like that with the freaking covers over them. And that's been shown to get very, very warm under there. Because that traps heat and air underneath there. All right. Well, I've got to do a quick equipment cool off one more time before we finish this up. We're almost done, but things are getting a little warm again, so just stand on by, folks. Hold on. We'll pick it right back up from right here, going that way. All right, here we go, just where we left off. Picking it back up. Oh yeah. My goodness.
Really intense work. Hey Nick, you have Riley, right?
Come again? We're going to end up entering into the side of Future World where Living with the Land is. Seas with Nemo and Friends. The original OG side of Epcot. My favorite side of Future World. Well, I like the side where Guardians and Test Track and all that is, and Mission Space, but this is one of the few areas of Epcot where you still see some of the original features from the early 80s and 90s. I'll tell you one thing, why anybody would opt to be in a park right now outside of me doing this, even I got to question my own judgments. But it makes you stronger, right? Like I said, this warmth kicked up fast. It was nowhere near like this when I started this almost 2 hours ago. We were at 5.77 miles. We'll hit 6 miles pretty quick. It's also closing in about 1 o'clock. This is also a time to get out of the parks and get back to your hotel. Even when it's cooler out, this is just always the worst time to be in the parks. From 1 o'clock to like 4:30. It's always the busiest. It's when the lines are at the longest during the warmer months. Like right now, how we're finishing summer up, even though it's officially fall now. This is the warmest time of the day. It's also the stormiest and wettest time of the day. Just take a break, folks. Take a break. Your vacation will be so much better for it. There's our land pavilion. Yeah. 100,001. 100,002. I'm counting screaming kids, by the way. Look at this. Stroller parking garage. Good grief, man. You remember when you used to be able to go to a theme park and not see 500,000 strollers littered everywhere? I remember those times. Back when once kids got past the age of, the toddler stage, they actually walked instead of being pushed around in strollers at ages 8, 9, 10 years old. And what's crazy is it's strictly a United States problem, because I challenge you, go to YouTube and look at any of the overseas Disney parks and tell me how many strollers you see in those videos. You'll be able to count them on one hand, likely. I mean, obviously you're going to have really, really young kids. That's to be expected, but this business of, these parents pushing around these 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds and even older than that because their legs are tired. Well, then take a break. Or, as a parent, you can help them work through it, Say exercise. Help strengthen your legs. It's okay. Still learn about time management. I feel like I'm looking at a live version of the movie WALL-E, Like, how did you start wondering, how in the world did we get here? A little bit at a time, that's how. All right, back to the front of the park. There's another one. That woman's like pushing, like struggling, pushing that stroller up. That kid is more than capable of walking. And I know people come at me, go, "Oh, Matt, you don't know their situation." Look. Look. I understand there's certain situations out there, but those are a very, very small, minute amount. Very small compared to everything you see. Spaceship Earth still under construction. No word of how long that's going to be either. Oh goodness, got a meltdown happening. There you go, folks. is why you gotta go at a nice, easy pace. First off, I don't know who she's talking to, but she needs to use a little bit more respectable language, and you can get a point across to somebody without losing your mind too. That's a whole nother issue. But these people, they come out here with such unrealistic expectations because they're trying to keep up with their favorite, social media personnel that shows them literally running around the parks nonstop. And then they try to do that, and they can't figure out why everybody's screaming and yelling at each other. The warmth is real, folks. It'll get the best of everybody, I'm telling you. All right, we're going to put you under the shade just for a minute. So we're going to keep this on walking to the car. Just got to cool you off just for 5 more minutes here. Back to live action. We got to head out to Rocket. Hope y'all have enjoyed this. I know even though it's been warm, I've enjoyed doing this. I love these challenges. Like I said, we can even push the boundaries later when it gets when it starts to cool off just a little bit. Because over on the Disney Springs side, there's a lot of paths to walk as well. You can actually walk from Disney Springs all the way to Saratoga, all the way around Saratoga. I'm not sure how far you can get into Saratoga if you can actually walk to where the tree houses are. I've only seen the tree houses from the boat shuttles going to Port Orleans, to and from Port Orleans from Disney Springs. But I'd be curious to do that walk. And you could actually even lengthen this walk out even more by when you get into the boardwalk section. At some point, probably on the way back, be walking the Swan and Dolphin Resort and then crossing the street and then going over and seeing the Fantasia mini golf over there, walking around there, and then walking around the Swan Reserve and then coming back. So you could absolutely lengthen this walk. We are at almost 6.25 miles. Be curious to see once we get to the car where we'll land at. We'll take
Time,
the,
1 hour,
tram
53 minutes,
area.
11 seconds.
Getting back
Total
to where we
distance, 6.0 miles. Average pace, 18 minutes, 51 seconds per mile. Split pace, 19 minutes, 35 seconds per mile.
I think it's almost time for some new flip-flops too. I can feel them. They're starting to wear a little thin on the bottom, but I love them because they're broken in just right. You get that pair of shoes or pair of sandals, flip-flops, whatever, and they're broken in all the right places. That's how these feel. If you've never been over on this side, right there is the giant Guardians building, or the Gravity building as they call it. Oh, I think we may have to get in the weeds here. I think we're in the tramway. Yep. get somebody's attention. And also some of the elevation changes. So we're coming up on almost, what is it? Almost 800 calories burned. That's pretty impressive. And like I said, I'm not sure if I'm repeating myself or not, but when I checked the camera, it was pointed back at me. So I'm not sure how long it was like that. So if that's the case, I'll edit that section out for a little bit. But, you know, this doesn't take into consideration the humidity, the warmth, you know, me walking and talking, and then also the changes in elevation. If I could get a Fitbit at some point, or a Garmin, and track those, and track these walks using that, it'll be a little more accurate. Right now I'm just using a Track My Run fitness app. Let me know what you think about this, folks. Do you like it? I know these are long. That's the whole idea. It's meant to be it's a fake live stream. It's a live stream, but it's not. Kind of getting prepared for live streaming. It's practice. That's a whole new animal. It seems easy, but it is not. It can be very challenging at times. Biggest thing is keeping people as engagement and not driving people crazy. There's some Disney live streamers out there that just don't shut up. I mean, I'm sure they're nice people, but holy moly, they just go on and on and on and on. And you don't even get to hear the ambiance of the park. There's one guy out there, he literally reads every string of chat, and then he'll do it while he's standing in line, no less. Like, you get people that literally look like they want to just absolutely, you know, as we'd say in the gambling world, go back room him somewhere. Rocket 608, here we are. We'll get to the 608 numbering up here. We'll be in the vicinity of my vehicle, and then we'll stop the count. We'll stop the cameras and everything, and then we'll wrap it up when I get in the car. Get in the AC, cool all this equipment off. All right, right here. See you in a minute. Well, here we are, ladies and gents, back in the car. What fun that was, huh? Wow, it's amazing how warm it got in the last 2 hours that I've been doing this. It changed drastically since I started, but it's all good. Sweating felt amazing. I don't know about you all, but I love sweating. It just feels good. It feels like your body's detoxifying itself from all the crap, and that your body's kind of regenerating. Total numbers for the entire workout, if you will. We went 6.58 miles. On a duration of 2 hours, 4 minutes, 11 seconds. Average pace of 18 minutes, 51 seconds per mile. Not bad for walking and talking. And with especially as warm and humid as it was today. Calories burned, 777. We hit the triple sevens. And then the elevation gain was 174 feet. That's some of the ups and downs we did. The calories burned, though, I would say, like I mentioned just before getting in the car, you could argue that that's probably a little higher. Because that doesn't take into consideration what I've just been talking about, the warmth and the humidity and all that. Plus, like I said, walking and talking, doing the video and that. So you could argue that might have even gotten close to 1,000 calories burned. So good workout, and I hope you enjoyed this. You know, if you follow along for the whole thing, I hope you like it. If you check in from time to time, fast forward and just see different bits and pieces of it. However you do it, thank you all for watching. Thanks for the support. We'll see you on the next one, everybody. Thanks again for the support. Thanks for watching. Thanks for everything. See you soon. Fire Medic Adventures out. It's been the truth. It's been actual. Hope you found this mighty, mighty satisfactual. See ya.